Hey guys, it's Ishani, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So yes, I have practically no makeup on my face today. I just have a little bit of mascara on and that is it. And that is because today is the day after Christmas. Today is December 26th and I just want to chill out today. I just want to not do anything, be lazy, stay at home, sleep in. That's all I want to do today because yesterday, Christmas Day, was crazy hectic. But no, Mac says, no, we can't let her chill today. We have to release 2 new collections, so she has to get up out of bed, go to the mall, pick up the collections, come home, film a video. Ah, Mac! Also, I just wanted to let you guys know that I actually am going to be doing a Christmas haul. That'll be coming up soon. The only thing is, my family is kind of a last minute Christmas shopping family. Like, we don't really shop too much in advance. So some of the things actually didn't come in on time for Christmas that we ordered online. So those things will still be coming in the mail within this week, I would assume. And also, we actually ordered like 1 or 2 things yesterday on Christmas Day. So I'm gonna wait till those things come in because there's no point in me doing like half of a Christmas haul and then doing the other half later. So, just wait like a week and a half, and I will definitely get that up for you guys as soon as everything comes in the mail. We're like a last minute shopping family, so that's just what happens. So anyways, as most of you guys know, Mac released 2 new collections today. Yes, 2 collections on the same day. That's not unusual for Mac. It's just that these 2 collections, they were fairly big, so So yeah, I had to get up out of bed and go to the mall and pick up some of the collection. I actually ended up getting a lot more of these collections than I was expecting. The 2 new collections, the first one was called Champale, and Champale is sort of a neutral, nude, pale kind of collection. Not exactly my cup of tea, but I still did get a couple things from the collection. And then the other collection, which was much more my style, was called Stylishly Yours, and that was the bright, fun, bold colors, and that was the collection that I loved, and I was just like, yes, I love this collection. So I got 4 things from Champale, and I got 8 things from Stylishly Yours. Yeah, this was a decent-sized haul. However, the way I actually justified myself getting that much is because I did actually return a couple things that I got from Tarte & Tail. I wasn't too happy with them. I returned 2 of the Tarte eyeshadows I got, the green one and like the peachy orange one. I wasn't really that thrilled about them after I used them and stuff. They just weren't what I was expecting. They weren't that great, so I just decided to return them in exchange for a couple of the things I got today. Now, Champale was a pretty decent-sized collection. It was the bigger of the 2 collections, and I ended up getting the least from that because I wasn't too thrilled about the shades in it, but it was a pretty big collection. The things that I was probably the most excited about getting from Champale were the chromographic pencil liners. Now, these are actually permanent at pro stores, but I don't have a pro store near me, so I couldn't get them. They originally came out in Pret-a-Papier, but I didn't know what they were used for, so I didn't get them originally in Pret-a-Papier, and by the time I was like, oh, these are actually really cool items, they were sold out, so I couldn't get them. But in Champale, Mac decided to re-promote these. There are 2 of them. There is NC15 NW20, which is the lighter one out of the 2. It's basically like a light skin tone color. For me, it's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, though it's not exactly my skin tone. And the other one is NW25 NC30, which is the darker of the 2, which is a little bit more close to my skin tone, but it's still lighter than my skin tone. So these are the 2 next to each other. You can see the bottom one is lighter, the top one is the darker one. Now, what these pencils are used for is you can use them pretty much everywhere. They're a multi-use product. I mostly got them to use on my waterline when I want sort of that bright, open, awake, bright-eyed look. And I've tried using white on my waterline, but I think the white looks too stark on my skin tone because my skin tone is darker than a lot of other people. So it looks a little too stark on my waterline. Like, it literally just looks like I have white thrown on my waterline, and it looks really weird. So I just decided to get one that was a skin tone color. So, it won't look as stark, but it still will give you the bright-eyed effect. You can also use these anywhere. You can put them on your face if you want to, like, seriously spot conceal an area, and if your skin tone matches one of these, you can use them as lip liners if you want. You can put them around your lip line so they kind of define your lips a lot more if it's the same color as your skin tone. So here are those two swatched. The top one is the NC15 NW20 and the bottom one is the NW25 NC30 pencil. So you can see the top one looks a lot more white. The bottom one is a little bit more yellow toned and a little bit warmer. Now, I actually didn't have a pencil that was similar to this, as in like an eye pencil, but I had a lip liner that was kind of the same concept, I guess. This is called Naked Liner, and it came out in Too Fabulous, maybe. Yeah, it's just a really, really, really light colored lip pencil. So Naked Liner is swatched there on the bottom. Naked Liner is a little bit more pinky. It has a lot more pink in it. And I think the formulation of them is definitely different. Naked Liner is not as smooth and not as creamy, but it makes sense because it is meant to be only a lip pencil, whereas the other two are meant to be used everywhere. So the chromographic pencils are a lot smoother. They're a little bit more pigmented, and they just like glide on and just melt onto your skin. Now, another thing that was in the collection are paint pots. Now, there were 4 new paint pots promoted in the collection. I ended up getting just one of them, and the one I ended up getting is called Dangerous Cuvée. I think that's how you say it. And it's this really pretty, like, gunmetal silver color, but it has like a really strong lilac undertone to it. So here's a swatch of it. You can see it's like really shiny. Do you see how it like reflects the light? It's like crazy shiny. All of the paint pots in this collection were really, really glittery. Like they had some like shine / glitter in them, and this one is no exception. I believe this was the darkest out of all 4 paint pots. The other one that was kind of dark but not as dark was like a coppery one, which I just wasn't really too into. This was the one that really stood out to me as being unique. And I didn't already have a paint pot in this shade. The other 2 paint pots that I own are both sort of more like peachy and a little bit more warm, and this is definitely like a cool toned paint pot. Then the last thing I got from the Champale collection is this, and this is a new product from MAC. This is called the Special Reserve Highlight Powder. MAC promoted 2 shades in this collection. I only ended up getting this one. This one is called Champale Lame, and this is what it looks like. It's like a light goldy color. It's just a highlight powder, basically. The sort of texture on the top has absolutely nothing to do with the way it's going to work or anything like that. It's just for show, and the sun is like being really weird right now. It's just for show, the like texture on the top. And I got this because I didn't have a really pretty like golden colored highlight powder from MAC. The closest thing that I had to this is my Mineralized Skin Finish in By Candlelight, and this is what it looks like, and I'll show you them side by side if I can. So you can see they're kind of similar in the pan, but when you swatch them, they are quite a bit different. So here those 2 are swatched. The top one is Champale Lame from this collection, and the bottom one is By Candlelight Mineralized Skin Finish. So they are quite a bit different. By Candlelight is a lot pinker, and Champale Lame is like more of a light gold color. It's like a yellow gold, whereas Mineralized Skin Finish is almost like a light pink. So though they both are supposedly do similar things, you know, they both highlight your skin, they're very different shades of highlighter. Now, there was another shade of the Special Reserve Highlight Powder. The one I got was the lighter out of the 2. The other one is called Rosé Olé, and that one was more of a dusty pink color, and I thought that one would be gorgeous on like really deep skin tones. I wasn't sure how it would look on me. I thought that it was like a lightish pink dusty color, and I thought it would be too similar to By Candlelight MSF because By Candlelight is a light pink. So Champale Lame was the different one to me. So that's all I got from Champale. Champale was a huge collection though. They had re-promoted Feline Coal Power, and I already have this. I didn't buy this today, but yeah, this is my Feline. I'm sure most of you guys know it's like the blackest black liner. It's not my favorite eyeliner in the world because it moves a lot. It doesn't set at all. So You know, if you want something that's going to set into your skin and last all day, this would not be the one I would recommend. Then they had 4 lip jellies in the collection, but they, like, one of them was like a darkish brown color, which was pretty, but the other 3 really reminded me of Resort Life, which I already had. I've had this from Lilyland since like January. So, yeah, they looked really similar, so I didn't really need those. So those were the things I got from Champale. Now let's move on to Stylishly Yours. So Stylishly Yours was the smaller out of the 2 collections, but I ended up getting the most from this collection. I got 8 products, and when you guys see them, they're products that you would expect me to get, I guess. Of course, I got the 4 pigments. There were 4 pigments promoted in this collection, and I ended up picking up all 4 of them. So these are the 4 pigments in the collection. You guys know I'm a pigment junkie. There is no surprise here whatsoever in the fact that I got these 4. I'm sure like 9 out of 10 of you guys knew 100% that I was going to get the 4 pigments, and I did. So the first one in the collection is this one. This is called Violet, and this one is actually in the permanent line, so you don't need to get this right now if you don't want to. Violet is a really pretty color, though. I'm surprised I didn't have it until now. It's like a really pretty light, iridescent, lilac-y violet color. And this does remind me of a lighter version of this. This is called Push the Edge pigment. And Push the Edge came out in Makeup Art Cosmetics, and it also came out in Venomous Villains. So, to me, the shimmer is kind of similar. It's just Push the Edge is like a darker version of Violet. I didn't have any other pigment that was similar to Violet because I don't have a lot of lighter pigments. I have a lot more of like the darker colored pigments. So here those 2 are swatched. The top one is Violet pigment and the bottom one is Push the Edge pigment. So Violet pigment is so pretty. It's got this gorgeous iridescent shimmer in it, and Push the Edge is basically a darker version of Violet. So if you like Push the Edge, I would recommend getting Violet. The next pigment in this collection is this one. This is called Madly Personal. And this is like a mid-tone, kind of hot pink, but when I compare it to the pigment I'm going to compare it, it's not that hot pink. It's kind of like a bubblegum hot pink. It's kind of a hard one to describe. It's not quite hot pink, but it's not quite a bubblegum pink. It's like in the middle. And the one that everybody is comparing it to is this one. This is called Brash and Bold. And there is a big like debate in the YouTube or beauty community as to whether these 2 are dupes of each other, and they are not. I have Brash and Bold, and it's not a dupe for, what is this? Madly Personal. They're not dupes. Brash and Bold, once again, is darker. Madly Personal is lighter. So that's when I say Madly Personal is a hot pink, but when you compare it to Brash and Bold, it's not that hot of a pink. So here those 2 are swatched. The top one is Madly Personal and the bottom one is Brash and Bold. So you can see Madly Personal is actually very, very, very light. Now these are actually not wet swatches. I just did these swatches dry, but I would assume if you either built it up or used it wet, it would be much more pigmented than it is here. But I just kind of wanted to show you the comparison. Brash and Bold is definitely darker, and it has a little bit more of a reddish tint to it. The next pigment in this collection is this one. This is called New Fixation, and this is like a bright fuchsia red color. Now this is not a color I would normally go for. However, because I'm obsessed with pigments, I grabbed it anyways. I think I'm going to use this as a blush as well as a lip color. I think it would be such a pretty lip color if you mixed it with some clear gloss. This is unlike any pigment I had already. I don't have a red pigment in my collection, so this would be my first. Now to me, I find that Brash and Bold, which is the middle one, is kind of a mix between these 2. This one is Madly Personal and this one is New Fixation. So I think Brash and Bold is a mix between the 2 in this collection. And here those are swatched. So now this is a fail at swatching right here. I'm so sorry guys. I really should have done wet swatches, but whatever. Okay, so this one down here is New Fixation pigment. You can see how light that actually is. This is kind of a fail at swatching. Maybe you could see it better on my finger right there. Yeah, so that's New Fixation Pigment, the red one. And I think that Brash and Bold is definitely the middle ground between Madly Personal and New Fixation. So if you're going to buy New Fixation and Madly Personal, you don't necessarily need Brash and Bold. Not that you can get it anymore, but just talking for the sake of talking, I guess. And the last pigment in this collection is this one. This is called Follow Your Fancy, and it is a really pretty corally orange colored pigment. I don't have a corally orange colored pigment to compare this to, so this would be my first, so I'm really excited to use this. Once again, probably going to be a cheek color as well as a lip color. So I'm really excited to use this. And here is Follow Your Fancy swatch, just right there. So I don't really have anything to compare this one to, but yeah. So those were all of the pigments. Overall, I've concluded that the pigments in this collection are not quite as bright as I was expecting or I was really hoping for. I guess that could be a good thing, but definitely these three. Madly Personal, Follow Your Fancy, and Brash and Bold. These three are definitely not as pigmented as I was expecting. But I guess for the shades that they are, I guess that's not a bad thing. Violet was very pigmented, however. Violet is definitely the standout to me. Now the next things in this collection that I got were the 4 cream color bases. Now this is probably not a shock to a lot of you guys if you've seen my videos before. These would have been my first cream color bases. I actually didn't have any other cream color bases prior to this. So I'm really excited about them, but I'm sure you guys know that I am obsessed with cream blush right now. I wear cream blush a lot in the winter. So these colors that came out in this collection are so pretty, and they would be the most gorgeous cream blushes ever. So this is the first cream color base in the collection. This is called Tickle Me Pink, and this is what it looks like. This is the lightest out of all 4 of the shades. It's just a light baby pink color. And if I tilt the pan like this, I don't know if you guys can see, but the product is sweating on top. And when I say sweating, that just means that there are little beads of moisture on the top of the product. Now, that does not mean that the product has gone bad or anything like that. If your cream products are sweating like this, that is perfectly okay. Lipsticks do it, cream blushes or cream color bases do it as well. And that just happens when the product is going from temperature to temperature. You know, if you're transferring it from a hot climate to a cold climate to a hot climate to a cold climate, you know, when it was traveling over to your MAC counter or store, there's a good chance that it started sweating because of the climate change. And that doesn't mean it's gone bad or anything like that. You can just wipe the sweat beads off with a tissue or something and they come right off. Nothing will happen to your product. It doesn't mean it's gone bad or anything like that. So, you know, if you see these little beads on your product, don't be concerned at all. It doesn't mean that your product is bad or anything like that. So Tickle Me Pink is sort of a mid-tone bubblegum pink sort of a shade. And the closest thing I had to this, I thought all 4 of these shades reminded me somewhat of the MAC and Lilyland Cream Blend blushes. So the closest cream blend blush to this would have been this one. And this is So Sweet, So Easy. And here those two are compared. Tickle Me Pink, So Sweet, So Easy. So Tickle Me Pink is a little bit darker. It has a little bit stronger of a bluish undertone to it. They're kind of similar, though. I guess you don't necessarily need both. But if you found So Sweet, So Easy a little bit light for your taste, Tickle Me Pink would be a perfect darker pink. So here those two are swatched next to each other. The top one is Tickle Me Pink Cream Color Base, and the bottom one is So Sweet, So Easy Cream Blend Blush from Lilyland. So you can see Tickle Me Pink is definitely brighter, and in my opinion, it's a lot prettier. I think I'm going to use Tickle Me Pink a lot more than I use So Sweet, So Easy. The next cream color base in this collection is this one, and this is called Virgin Isle, and this is a really, really pretty, bright, corally orange cream color base. It's gorgeous. I love it. And the closest cream blend blush that this is comparable to is this one. This is called Joie de Vivre, and you can see I've used this one quite a bit. And here those two are compared. Now, Joie de Vivre is a little bit pinker. It's not quite as orangey toned, and Virgin Isle is a little bit more orangey toned, but once again, they're kind of similar. You don't necessarily need to have both. So here those two are swatched. The top one is Virgin Isle Cream Color Base, and the bottom one is Joie de Vivre Cream Blend Blush. So Joie de Vivre has a little bit more of a pinky tone. Virgin Isle is more of an orangey toned product, but they're both kind of similar. They're both in the same family. You know, they're both like corally, creamy products. The next cream color base in this collection is this one. This is called Madly Magenta, and oh my gosh, this one is like gorgeous. This is like a bright pinky magenta color. It has a very, very, very strong purple undertone. So this one doesn't exactly match up to anything in the Lilyland collection because the Lilyland collection didn't have something that has this strong of a purple undertone. But the closest thing to it would be this one, and this is Florida. And Florida is a really, really, really bright hot pink, and this is Madly Magenta, which is clearly much more of a purple toned product. So here those two are swatched. The top one is Madly Magenta Cream Color Base, and the bottom one is Florida Cream Blend Blush from Lilyland. When they're swatched, they're actually a lot more similar than they look in the pan. I think Florida comes off a little bit more purpley toned when you actually swatch it, you know, on your hand or you put it on your face. But the camera, I think, is still showing them a little bit more similar than they are in real life. With these two, I guess you don't necessarily need both because when swatched, they're kind of similar. So, yeah, I guess they are kind of dupable when you look at them when they're swatched. And the last cream color base in this collection, and the last thing that I'm going to show you in this entire haul, is this. And this is called Movie Star Red. So you can see this one is clearly sweating, but it is a really dark, bright red shade. And this would be perfect for a cream blush or a lip color. And I didn't have anything that was comparable to this red. No red product was released in the Lilyland collection, so I didn't have anything to compare this to. And here is Movie Star Red Cream Color Base swatched. These cream color bases are very, very pigmented. This was like the smallest amount swirled onto my finger and just swatched like that. So just imagine how little you would need to actually make it show up on your cheeks. Just be really careful with these. These are like super pigment in a pan. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, cream color bases are actually multi-use products. You can use them on your eyes, lips, cheeks, face, wherever you want to use them. However, the 4 colors that were released in this collection are actually not eye safe. MAC claims that they are not eye safe. And with each of the cream color bases, there's a little piece of paper or like a little warning thing that comes in each of the cream color base little boxes. And it lists every single shade of cream color base and which ones are not safe for your eyes, lips, and face, and whatever. So actually all 4 of the ones in this collection are not approved for the eye area. Now, does that mean that you absolutely cannot use them on your eye area? No, you can still use them on your eye area. However, MAC is basically saying proceed with caution because a lot of people have allergies to these red dyes near their eyes. So MAC basically warns you, just beware, but you can still use them on your eyes if you want, but you might get an allergic reaction or something. But in my opinion, the colors that they came out with are much more appropriate for the cheeks and the lips. Anyways, I wasn't really planning on using them around my eye area. I might try it out with a color or two just to see, but, you know, we'll see. Definitely you can use them on your cheeks and lips though, and that is probably the 2 places that I would use them the most anyways. Okay, so enough with me rambling. That's all I have to show you guys in this haul. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me while I was swatching everything and everything like that. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Please let me know what you guys think, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.